Good morning, extended school year students, and it is day 3 of extended school year distance learning style. So this is interesting. I hope you guys are doing okay with it all. Thinking of you. I know we had a lot of practice this past spring, but it's still hard getting used to new teachers and new techniques. So don't forget to reach out if you need anything or if you have any questions. We are here for you. All right, let's talk about some more pieces of figurative language. We've been talking about that this week. We did a lot about similes and metaphors, but there's a couple other techniques that we want to talk about today. One that is used a lot is what is known as personification. Personification is the act of giving human traits, qualities, or actions to objects, concepts, or animals. People often use personification in their writing to make it come alive. Giving human qualities to objects, concepts, or animals creates an emotional reaction in readers. An emotional reaction will make the reader care about what they are reading. When someone cares about what they are reading, they want to read more. And there's an example right here that says, "The stars are smiling and winking at us." So stars may not literally smile or wink. They don't have eyes or lips, right? But sometimes they shine and sparkle so brightly that they look like they're smiling or winking at us. There's some other examples of personification. The leaves dance their way through the lawn. We know leaves don't really dance, but when they're blowing in a breeze, they might look like they're dancing because of the way they move. So when we say the leaves dance their way through the lawn, it just might mean they were blowing across the lawn and it looked really pretty. And then right here we have one look at the garden and you could tell that the plants were begging for water. So the plants weren't literally begging. However, they probably looked really dry and like they needed water in order to continue to be alive. So that's personification. And you're going to see this so much when you're reading books now because it's really all over the place. The second thing I wanted to talk to you about today is something called an onomatopoeia. And this is just a really cool technique. You guys have definitely seen this. It's basically like a word for a sound. So the definition, starting right here, says, onomatopoeia is a word that originates from a sound. For example, neigh is an onomatopoeia word associated with the noise that horses make. Ding dong is an onomatopoeia word associated with the noise that a doorbell makes. And honk is a sound associated with the noise of a car horn. Some other examples are splat and splash. When you're splashing water, it does make a noise that sounds like the word splash. So where else have you seen this? Oh, you know, comic books. All of that awesome artwork in comic books that's showing when things are exploding or blowing up. Those are all representing the noises that are being made. So that's where we get the kapow, pow, boom. Those are all sounds. So that's what an onomatopoeia is. I can also think of a couple other famous examples, like a snake. When it makes sounds, it makes like a hiss sound, and that's really what it sounds like. A dog bark, ruff, ruff, bark, bark. We make those noises. Those are all onomatopoeias. Okay, so now that we've gone over those two types of figurative language, which were personification and onomatopoeias, we're going to look at our worksheets for today. One is a little lengthy, but the other two are short, so I think it is fair. What is personification? Personification is giving human qualities, actions, feelings, and thoughts to non-human objects. For example, the leaves danced in the wind, or the toys dreaded playtime at the daycare. The toys probably did not literally dread it. However, kids in a daycare might be a little rough on toys. Think about that one. Your directions. Circle the object that is being personified in each statement. So remember, the object that is being personified. Then underline the word or words that show the human quality that the object has been given. So let's zoom in a little bit. Okay. The wilted flowers begged for water. So first we need to circle the object that is being given a human quality. So the flower is begging. So the flower, circle, lock that in. The flower is being personified because it is being said that the flower begged. Flowers can't beg. They can look really dry and like they need water, but they cannot literally beg. Let's look at number 2. The nail waited in fear for the next blow. So a nail is probably getting the action of a hammer. The nail would be the object. And waited in fear would be the word that is showing personification. Really, a nail can't wait in fear. However, if you were a nail and a hammer was coming down on you, you probably would wait in fear. That is how you do this worksheet. Go through it, take your time. Then when you're done, send me a picture or a document in whichever way is easiest for you. Let's look at the second part. Now, this one's a little bit longer, and I would like for you to choose 4. All right? That's important. Do 4. Okay? You can pick whatever 4 you'd like. You have to write a whole sentence and make sure it's a proper sentence. I know you guys can do it. The directions say, write a sentence personifying each of these things. A snowflake, an old computer, letters in a mailbox, a pencil, an empty potato chip bag, a blossoming flower, an apple tree, or a hammer. I am going to write an example for you using number 5, the chip bag. So I'm going to say the empty chip bag sat sadly on the table. Now, a bag of chips cannot be sad. However, an empty bag of chips may be a sad sight for some people to see. And if it's empty and not being used anymore, I can see how that would be a little bit sad. Now, you are going to try that. Like I said, you may pick any 4 and send it to me any way that you would like. Finally, let's talk briefly about onomatopoeias. I think this is a pretty clear concept. We're just going to practice really quickly because this kind of writing does really enhance your work. This really helps your audience or your reader to be right there in the moment with you. So I think it's really important. Some examples of onomatopoeias, which are words that sound like their meanings, are creak, splat, buzz, rustle, splash, squish, cackle, plink, vroom, hiss, ding, and pop. So for part A, numbers 1 through 6, all you're doing is underlining the onomatopoeia in each sentence. Number 1 says the dishes crashed to the floor. Which word represents the sound? I have to go with crashed. Oops, look at that. I didn't properly read the directions. I'm supposed to underline. My bad. But that's how you do 1 through 6. That only take you guys a minute or 2. And finally, part B, there is a word bank, and you have to fill in each blank with an onomatopoeia from the box. The words in the box are honking, crunchy, splash, sloshed, zip, buzzing, sizzling, clapped, pop, and rustling. Number 1 says the honeybees were blank around the hive. Well, what do honeybees do? They were probably buzzing around the hive. And you're just going to fill in the blanks over here. After you're done with that, you will be done for the day. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. Good luck getting your work done. And remember, I am here if you have any questions. Talk to you soon.